Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for March 4th through the 10th, 2019. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and just give yourself the opportunity to turn off everything in your life that is could be a distraction. Release your concerns, your worries, and bring all of that to this moment of alignment, where you trust that the universe has always supplied a solution. Now, think very generally about that, the meaning of that word solution, when you ponder this in your heart as you surrender to the vibration of the collection of those words that you just heard. Because that's what's happening here. It's the collection, how the words come together to create the vibration that the universe is actually trying to communicate to your soul in order for you to experience freedom. Because in that freedom, you are open to love and all that comes with the alignment of love. When you find a way to soothe your vibration of concern or worry or fear, which is out of alignment with the entire landscape of the universe. And this, by the way, is why you feel it as a competing frequency, is one way to put it very gently, or what some may call more directly a negative. But negative meaning that the focus of what you're feeling, the focus of your vibration and what it's creating is setting you apart from the universal harmony. It's not an evil. It's not a monster. It just means that we're in that moment off from the rest of the landscape of the universe, that vibrational landscape of the universe. This vibrational landscape of the universe unconditionally loves and supports you through that moment and all the other moments that you have inconsistently and sometimes consistently. Yes? And the reason that the universe loves you unconditionally, no matter how you are vibrating in tune or out of tune with it, because it really isn't those things, actually. What it really is that you are in a moment of your own discovery, where contrast is coming together and you are being reshaped, transformed. New ideas and visions are being polished or being realized. New opportunities are being explored. And sometimes we get off. And in that getting off, we know how good it is to be on. and we come up with something in our spiritual vibrating that allows us to be on even better than it was. And when it's on better than it was, the whole landscape of the universe, that love becomes better than it was. And it's always this, that no matter what we do, when we get back on, and we always find a way, and don't look at your life in judgment and look at the scales, or look at the sort of a graph of you going up and down in terms of being consistent in your alignment with this, because all of that inconsistency is creating all of the new vibrations of change. Because when you go, what you go through, you learn, and those lessons become powerful enlightenment and wisdom for the entire landscape of the vibrational plane. And so the entire landscape of the vibrational plane is uplifted because of each of you, because of all that the inconsistency, the imperfections, you're in and out of alignment. And this is why you feel your contrast to that vibrational plane, meaning on that emotional level, you feel like you are not in sync with the harmony of love or happiness. This is why you know that you want to be happy when you aren't, because the universe, the universal landscape, doesn't turn away, but embraces you, holds the space around you. Just imagine you're that drop in that landscape, but the landscape embraces that, what you're resonating at that moment, to let you know this is who you truly are, so that you can process what's occurring for you that's throwing you off, and you can go spiraling out of control, but you will always know what your true purpose is, that is to say, to be happy, as an example, because you know that you're that unhappy. It's because you know you're that unhappy that you actually really know that you're supposed to be happy. And that knowing that you should be reaching for that is the embrace of unconditional love from the entire landscape of the universe. If the universe really judged you like we do, and turns away from you when you make a mistake, like we see happening so often, it plays out all the time, then you would not know. If the universe withdrew from you, you wouldn't know what landscape you were actually in. You wouldn't know what happiness was, and therefore you would not know, because the universe would withdraw that. If it did this, if it withdrew that happiness, that love from you ever, you would not know where you've fallen. You would have no contrasting condition to allow you to feel that you are out of sync. So this is what they're providing for you to understand, that this is why you know you're loved, because the pain is the opposite of what you truly deserve. And the only way you can know that is because that which you do deserve, and that which is truly you and you are part of it, is embracing you steadily, consistently, without fail, without condition, so that you have the code sort of in your feeling vibration to know that this is not what I need. This is not what is good, best for me. And this is also because we're always being embraced in this way. This is what allows us to have spiritual discernment. Because if it withdrew, you understand that without other, you can't have what you can't have something. I mean, you can't have your experience. Because if the universe was only, let's say, cold, you would never know what hot was. It would never occur to you, and you would live in complete ignorance of what it was. You wouldn't know what to call it because you wouldn't know what its opposite is. You wouldn't know that you should feel any other way. And you would remain stuck in what you are seeing and believing and feeling. This is why we spend too much time rallying against that which we don't like, when that which we don't like helps us to know our purpose. Instead of fighting against the things that we don't like, we should let it help us to stand in our power for the things that we do want, the things that we do love, and the things that we do want to help flourish in its place. I cannot say this enough, that we are not helping one another when we condemn. When we condemn, we are separating them from for those who don't pay attention to their vibration. We're separating them because that's like withdrawing our love and leaving them in the condition of what they are doing, only to know that. In the same way, if, God forbid, the universe ever did that, we would stagnate. So we create the stagnation of the thing that we don't want. And that goes for within our own lives. If you feel that you're lacking something, and I don't want to give it a name right now because I could say them and it would be trigger for most of you. It would take you out of the moment of listening and hearing what is being said to you vibrationally to uplift you. But if you focus on those things that you lack in this way, when you judge it, you hold yourself apart from that embrace, that support. And it's the same, and cause yourself to stagnate. And it's the same thing we do to others, whether they're on a world stage or in a much smaller stage and within the community, a student in a school, that everybody, keeps making it clear to that student, we don't like your behavior, as a way to correct it. And what will happen is they will continue to stagnate in that energy because the unconditional love, the contrast to what they're doing, is being withheld from them. But see, love is something that we have to learn to keep perpetuating and let everything else that do what it's doing in order that it may feel, see, experience the contrast of its own making. Eventually, anything that seems good enough, that really is awesome, other people want some of that. You know what I mean? Like they eventually they will want to be a part of that. And so the best way to transform those things that we see that we feel. Remember that because you have to understand that no matter how, righteous we feel, but we have to understand that the things that we don't like, that's our feeling about it. And again, you can get into, social consciousness or moral consciousness, and say, well, we all agree, but that's true too. But from their perspective, we have to remember we feel that it's wrong. That person or that group of people don't. And so we're not going to get them, like they're not going to convince you, but by the way they're doing it, by antagonizing you, so it's not going to work to do the same. You have to be who you are. You have to be the consistency that the universe is always embracing you by, and you have to do likewise. Be as above as below. You have to be like the universe in its unconditional support of us. And when we just allow ourselves, because we don't even allow ourselves to be loved by the universe unconditionally. We fight, like when we worry about things, we're fighting the universe. Because we don't believe that unconditional love is enough to turn our lives around. That unconditional love is enough to guide us through a path of least resistance. And I was saying at the beginning, if you look back, when I said, about the solutions, that the universe always, to trust that the universe always leads you to a solution, I said, think generally about this, because when we think of solutions, we think of a fix. And you're going to be disappointed because the universe may not look like it's fixing what you want to be fixed, but it's leading you to a greater opportunity. I'm going to leave that word fix out so you can expand the scope of your vision and understanding, to embrace that the universe doesn't see all the number of mistakes that you and I are so good at naming. And maybe we should become less capable in this so that we do see more opportunity, that we have that foresight to see how the contrast weaved into our own desires is actually helping us to come up with the best recipes for opportunity. Does that make sense? There's certain ingredients that you put in something in a recipe that alone are not tasty, but in combination, contrasting, they create the most delicious taste to your palate, right? So this is why we have to understand, when we look for an answer or a solution, that the universe is going to do this through different ingredients, contrasting ingredients, to bring about the right opportunity, flavor for you. So, just sort of let that sit for a moment and allow yourself to feel safe, to feel loved and nurtured. And I don't know why they're at the base of a tree, which the branches look like an umbrella, and umbrellas mean safe. And so the tree means that upper branches means your higher consciousness, so this combined imagery. And there's a panda sitting in front of the tree, so that's very interesting. very loving frequency right by the trunk of the tree where the connection is. So just allow your heart, to open very gently. And the kindness. I don't know. The pandas is so interesting because they look like bears, which we, but there's this gentleness and sweetness from within, and so it's this contrast of strength and profound compassion, and married together. And the panda's colors, white and black, and there's that contrast again of the universal, the balance of the divine feminine and masculine. And so there's something occurring for us where we're in this discussion where we're finding a balance. We're finding this balance. This is a part of our ascension process that is going to help us to access more discernment and clarity from our higher self that will allow us to feel safe. There's that umbrella. And we're going to develop more trust in our divine guidance. Keeping in mind that you're not looking to the angels or to heaven to tell you what to do, but to love you, to embrace you unconditionally, so that you feel supported and empowered enough to trust your own instincts, to trust your desires, to trust your wanting, to trust your passion, to not hesitate, to not look over your shoulders to check to see who's coming and who approves. Because this is the only block to your happiness, to your fulfillment of purpose, and you recognizing what is truly yours to have and to express. This is what's breaking that trust. This is what interferes with our balance and how we interact with the contrast through a perspective of balance. The balance has to come through your heart and mind and your emotions. You have to stop being afraid. And I say this to myself, because this is the only way I can talk to myself is when I'm talking to you. It's the clearest moment for me. So we have to stop being afraid of our own desires, because there is no one in the universe or nothing in the universe that is going to take a moment to criticize or judge. On the contrary, the love, the unconditional love, will intensify. And that's why you may feel things like guilt or disappointment, or because it's not about what you're doing. It's about the idea that you are withholding. That's what it means. When we withhold from that vibrational plane, and just imagine how vast and how wide and how far and infinite this is, because this vibrational plane just sweeps across the entirety of all that is known physically and non-physically, which means you are like a circuit. You're a part of that neural network of the universe. You feel what is felt no matter how many light years away it is. The information, you get it no matter how many light years away it seems or is. There is nothing less about our existence within it, less or more. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the Archangel card for the week and see what the message is. And I think that's appropriate, especially after what was just said. Sensitivity. Archangel Haniel And this card speaks to those of us who, and especially because we've been talking about vibration. And right now, what is happening is a lot of the shifts and a lot of the changes and the turmoil and chaos is helping us to become more sensitive to our universal neural network, that allows us to communicate, receive as well, receive and offer, share, they're writing the word empathize, information, because we are afraid of our emotions. When we have a negative emotion, we think something bad is happening. And when we have really good, and it's so good that it's too good, we doubt. And so we spend our connection with this frequency, this neural network of the universal landscape, probably this quantum field. We spend it, our connection with it is superstitious in a haunting way. We can't enjoy it. It's either too good or it's really bad. And we're not paying attention to that. It's just information helping you to discover your purpose, helping you to find ways to fulfill the channel of love that flows through you, the channel of dreams and ideas. It's all love based, and it's all inspired. And when you're the reason, let's put it this way, a very simple way, and sort of make it the analogy to exercising your body. It's this significant and this cut and dry. When you don't exercise, your body doesn't feel good. When you don't channel your creativity, your ideas, when you don't act on the impulses that are given to you, you become unhappy. And when you become unhappy, you drop into this lower frequency where the three-dimensional plane, superstitious nonsense and excessive worrying and compulsive behaviors and addiction and fear and all of these things being out of control, the emotions are out of control and running you, and you feel vulnerable. This is the condition of that. If you keep processing, keep flowing with what is channeled through you, through impulses, instincts, ideas, etc., that means there's no stagnation happening, which means the channel, the vessel of your being, think of it as like an artery. When you don't channel, everything gets clogged up in there, like plaque in the arteries. And of course, this could create heart conditions and heart attacks and strokes. And so the reason that we keep feeling like we're always having one is because we keep stopping that flow. We just don't let it. We hesitate, we're afraid to do, and we become more afraid because we are less practiced at doing what is natural to us. Okay? So pay attention to your feelings in this week. Pay attention to those impulses, those guidance, the when you're inspired to do something, go with it. Don't hold back. Okay? And we have, for the beginning of the week, the Knight of Trees. This is the Knight of Pentacles. And she titles the card Custodian. And just looking at him here, sitting in front of the tree with this flame, with his hands in that prayer and that white and like the violet flame. It's like the lilac fire dragons have. It's flame of, they call it the flame of freedom. And you can call on the lilac dragons right now and ask them to just breathe there, this energy, to enter your energy field and to touch and light up all of your 12 fifth dimensional chakras with this lilac flame. It's called the flame of freedom. And just feel how it just releases you. And there's a sense that right now you really need to get grounded. You know, he's sitting by that tree, he's sitting on the ground, he's got his base chakra to the earth and all these branches just flowing from it, and really grounded. And it's time for you to take some projects in your life and really move them forward through this channel of love, through move it through this channel of love that is flowing through you. You can feel that it's time to, it's almost like you're not getting into your work. You're afraid to take steps, or you're just hesitating a lot. And this night is one who I think of him like someone who likes to get his hands in the soil. He likes to work with the earth. So his mission is really to work with the physical elements of manifestation, and he enjoys the process of doing. He enjoys his physicalness. He recognizes he's a physical being. And so he's like a custodian in that sense, where he is reminding you that this is a huge part and a necessary part of your purpose here in order to keep your spiritual being fulfilled, to keep flowing it into something that you love, something that you care deeply about and that you're passionate about, but you're wanting to build it now. Okay? So if there's something that you've felt that you are ready to build, or something that you're ready to take a leap of faith, something you've been thinking about for a while, now is the time to do this. That the nights are energy of movement. Okay, so anything to do with if, like, let's say, I want to say like, you know, if you're thinking about moving or something, this would be a great time. But I feel like it has more to do with it could have to do with career. It could have to do with your home. Maybe you want to make some changes in your finances, clearing out of your home, clearing your home out, sort of clearing up your financial practices. You know, we don't want you to live like you are. We don't want you to feel like you can't spend, but you want to clarify the reasons for spending. You want it to come from a place of joy and true fulfillment. You know, something that really, sometimes we just do it because, again, we're in that three-dimensional and we're not feeling fulfilled. And so we develop bad habits because of this lack of channel. It's why we become obsessive or compulsive, like we shop compulsively, because we don't have something that we are passionate about and that we're invested in a physical way. And so right now you need a creative project. If you're feeling like you're kind of lost, and this will help you to also ground, really get yourself involved in some kind of creative project. If you have a job and you're just not feeling happy, then pick up a hobby, you know, to kind of offset the imbalance that you're feeling. That'll help bring balance. And what it'll do is, once you channel that creativity, it'll help you to figure out, you'll become clearer because you'll rise above the three-dimensional framework and you'll start having aha moments, which is the fourth dimension, enlightenment. And in the fifth dimension, you'll start to see the opportunities that the contrast is creating for you. That's the fifth dimension. And six is to enjoy it. It's like a state of bliss, pleasure. And that pleasure means in all forms. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. The Page of Stars. This is the Page of Wands. And so we have here a cheetah, right? And look at this. You know, this is definitely fits right in. And the card is titled Curiosity. So this suit is all about pursuing visions and goals and ideas and having a lot of creative ideas. So what are you curious about right now? Notice that. So, you know, I'm getting a sense that may help you to figure out, to sort of narrow down the choices in terms of purpose. What am I supposed to be doing? What are you curious about? There's something sort of fresh about that. And it's sort of subtle. We don't always notice it. And we may dismiss it. But this, just out of the landscape of you vibrating, notice curiosity, what you're curious about right now. And let that be sort of a path that opens up in the darkness. Here's interesting. So this light, this curiosity opens up, illumines the darkness, this void, the womb, this period of gestation for you where you're becoming something. So know that you're on your path, you're on to something. And right now you want to follow that curiosity. All right? Let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. I really love that card, the page there. Okay, so we have the Star card, Hope. And let me see, I have to look over. Oh, that's beautiful. It's like wings with I guess it's two hearts upside down, but also it looks like a time, what is it called? Isn't that strange? I can't remember, you know, the hourglass with a star over it. And, you know, this makes me think too, with the two hearts, as above, as below. And so that this is saying that, number one, the Star card is always a great sign. And since this is the only major arcana card in the reading, it's indicating that a transformation, a major healing unfolding in your life. And the symbols in this card with that balance of the two hearts, that your spiritual heart and your higher consciousness and your soul, your lower consciousness, your personality, your conscious mind is merging. It's merging, and this is allowing you to expand your wings. And so you're going to start to feel more uplifted. You're going to have ideas and things that have come to you that are just going to kind of get underneath your wings, sort of, you know, the wind beneath your wings, so to speak. But it's going to get underneath your wings and help you to expand them and to feel like you know where you're flying a little bit. But the thing is not to resist those impulses, to turn away from them. And to feel, to be afraid to trust what you want and what you believe is right for you. Don't look over your shoulders so much. All right, but really, really focus on the vision. You know, when you find this curiosity, I feel like it's going to lead you to something. And you just need to keep focused on that star. Let it guide you. It's going to be a powerful moment of transformation and clarity and purpose. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the cards I already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And this is the High Priestess. Isn't that beautiful? And this just really just talks about everything we've been speaking about, going within, really opening up your heart. Look at that chakra just opening up there. And allowing yourself to really focus within, pay attention to the cosmic vibration. Know that you're being embraced even when you feel horrible, and trust and listen to what's coming to you. Follow that curiosity. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and thank you for joining us this week. If you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter and the Daily Cart Messages, which is in the link below. All right, so everyone have a beautiful week, and God bless you all.